This was an elderly woman behind me. And I had to wipe my hands. Ugh. My body's feeling pretty vivid. It's good. Okay. Yeah. We'll bring this down for the natural temple. Something I like to do at least once a day. So I'm doing something that's not just for me. Sounds nice. Therapeutic. Sarah. Ray. Sarah. Right? Most like therapy is always done by occultists and parasitical people because it's money and everything that's part of the economic system. Every license they give you is economics, which is always based on torturing humans. I mean, it's writ large enough that people don't see it. Most crime, large and small, is always done in plain sight because people operating in the most parasitic behavior are always operating as though among a theater company. Right? Hush, hush. Is this the way you talk to people? I told you no, and I'm telling you no now. I don't want you to say that I'm me, and it's totally unreasonable. I don't care what you say. There's nothing to do with it. Right? Something. And look at your behavior. Okay? We've basically for to relate as awful. You obviously expect it to do it. You've obviously made that decision in your mind. Okay. There are sexual predators running naked naturals in parks and Guam. They're sexual predators. They told me they're sexual predators. They're sexual predators. They're parasitical people. Okay? One of the last men, she's domestically abusing her husband. Okay? And he has terrible abdominal issues. I've been through it myself. They're sexual predators. They're the most disgusting people I ever met. Up and down the whole company. The 12 years I shot there, I realized now that I was never dealing with anyone other than a sexual predator. And health food attracts these people. Food control people often have had sexual issues in their life. Right? There's a large market everywhere a market opens up for people who are predatory and have been preyed upon and are compulsive. It's the grossest thing ever. And this person told me in public that he was a criminal and a sexual predator in front of witnesses while treating me like a criminal and a sexual predator. Sexual predator. A sexual predator. Right? Naked Naturals, I've been informed by the owners and staff, are sexual predators. That is all they are. And they also sell health food and useless health advice and useless health products, pseudo-medical health products to mostly vulnerable elderly people. Okay? was two creepy women, because I always go by energy. I was walking along and they were trying to be happy and they were in an excited state. And I said, "Hey, is your name Rain?" And I said, "No." And I kept walking. And I write and have blogged under the name Rain. And I knew automatically, whatever it was, whether it was a positive or a negative thing, that it would be negative because they were parasitical, right? And so white women will approach you in a positive way, but it will have a very negative effect, right, on you. That's what you get from parasites. Women have a lot of, right, in their blood. Now, I'm not saying I'm competent in these things, but anyone can tell that it's happening, right? You can tell you have the flu if you don't know what to do about it, right? I can tell. Okay. Here we go. I take a pee. So here we are. Hello. Hello. I'll put you there. Good. And I'll wipe my bum a little bit too, I think. Don't get a rash. Good. Yeah, it wasn't really too much of a hurt unit, so that's good. I just let it air dry for a bit. Put some more soap on. There you go. Good. Thank you. And that will keep us sound. Keep my butt sound. Ooh. Good butt health is really important to me. All right. You can do it. There you go. Yeah, it's just cold. A little bitter. It's okay. Ooh, that felt good. I really, since I've had some uncomfortable bowel issues at times, or runny stool, or in my shorts, I know it's disgusting, but I mean, if you're outside person, it's like, people got to do something. I carry antibacterial soap. I prefer moss to leaves, get myself nice and clean, and then I can take off my or I can reapply as I more antibacterial soap to my anus. That sounds pretty cool. My anus. And and then I just let it air dry, or I put some more moss on it, or whatever, and I just baby it essentially. Make sure it's nice and happy. And the alcohol will kill anything, and it didn't sting at all, so it was like, oh, well, not too bad. I caught it soon enough. Get all that material out of there. I'm feeling a little happier, so that's good. Yeah. Feeling definitely a little happier. There's a blonde woman stalking me a little bit. She just wanted to see who was there. That's okay. I'll let her see. I mean, if you look in the woods, you see something. Seagull going over. Seagull. Hey, your trees are beautiful. I said about, like, if you went camping or you took psilocybin, you would be really sensible of how vulnerable you are to the environment, how open, how sacred you'd want to share it to be, your spirit's right to be undisturbed. You don't want a cat prowling on you. You're a human. You don't want eagles coming down. You don't want the sheriff coming to bang you up for a commit. You don't want people yelling or throwing beer cans at you or trying to fuck you. You don't want the sacred, right? And to feel more confident, if someone's anxious like me, you can't just say, don't be anxious. I mean, if they're with someone, that will help, because, like, hey, don't be anxious, you're with someone, could be reassuring. But also to tell someone, hey, if you're anxious, don't be anxious. It's like, no. Try to make yourself stronger. Are you stronger? Are you getting stronger? Have you dealt with, because if there's evil in your life, in your home, in your life, you have a reason for feeling weak. You might be more susceptible to danger. If you notice your own mind, some days you're more confident, some you might feel very vulnerable and scared or angry. What kind of days do you prefer to deal with strangers, right? Just at a guttural level. Do you want to deal with strangers when you're happy and confident, or when you're feeling there? So no one ever says, some people have pretty good reason, in fact, most people do, to feel, if they do feel, uncertain about the prospect of their safety this day, this year. What about the next 1,000 days of my life? Am I as safe as I should be? Now, if you looked at my life, my income level, you might listen to my personality, such as you imagine I have a personality, which I don't. I don't have a soul. I don't wish to be reduced to a financial instrument. When you say personality, you're saying, is this someone who can work? Is this someone who can get along with other workers? Is this someone who can contribute to the magical systems that attend all the wonderful labors of our lives, such as they are supplied endless amounts of debt by themselves, attributed to the very first one of your entire life, that you can never pay enough and you can never pay down, because every unit of money used to pay it is forged in debt. You see? You're making more death to save your life. You're going to more inhuman and theatrical proportions of lowered human inhibition to maybe one day become fully human. This is not me talking, God talking to you. This is the economic system. This is the royalty, the reality of the royal real estate, which is the litany of royal torture of you. Your whole life, memories and litanies of being a slave or a peasant or a serf. And you imagine Middle Ages serfdom, and you think, oh, I'm glad we don't do that anymore. It's all been programmed into you. Evolution, the Garden of Eden, the Big Bang, and that humans have come through history and this, and evolution, and monkeys, and You got a toothache in 1 million BC and you were done for at the age of 4. And they've programmed you to believe that 99% of your existence is a vacuum of pure, inevitable agony to prepare you for your containment in the virtual royal reality of your modern incarnation as a working demon or a soul. It's all been done for you in the big casino of the universe. The universe, in the word of one occultist in the system, on one of your own TV shows, is the world, right? I thought that myself. I knew that before I even heard them say it. And they'll tell you things on TV. The universe is the world. It is the world. What is the world that has got into your universe? Right? God created the heavens and the earth, or God gave you a completely fake. The industrial system has given you fake ideas of the heaven and the earth. It's a little topsy. Why was Sheol heaven before it was hell and used to be inside the earth? That's the reason the Shell station has a dawning sun and a shell and mines petroleum under the earth, which is basically their luxury, their royalty, to turn this totally renewable resource, put it through a web of lies about dinosaurs and fossils, and then put you in a world that's getting warmer because you need to pay more and more for gas that should take your car 1,000 miles for like $2, and instead you go 10 miles for every $200. It's fucking ridiculous. You're not really going anywhere living like that. Look at the flesh and blood that you need to supply, and your families have had to supply, from wars to everything else, just to run a fucking car. Henry Ford himself received the highest distinction for a civilian from German Nazis for helping design the engines for the tanks that rolled over Canadians, Americans, British, and many other innocent people sent to these wars, these economic bankers' wars. How do you feel about that? And you're still paying for it. Isn't that something? How's your father doing today? Where is he? Is everything still as hunky-dory as it used to be? Let's go. I'm trying to eat and drink and smoke weed and talk. I'm trying to get it cold. Canada. When we get back to the estuary, it should start to get a bit warmer. So yeah, I've been around predatory. The greatest predators I've ever known would do it in plain sight and feel justified. And behind them, if they were a man, was usually a female who doesn't mind lying and just following through on on a bitter that's out of all proportion. Yeah? Because you said a certain thing, didn't say a certain thing. And parasitical people, men and women, they want to hear from you. And when I went to that, and I've shown this to parasitical and psychopathic people, workers, really. They want certain things from people, and there's certain things they don't want to see from you. And based on these signals, biological, subconscious, the clothes you're wearing. If you don't wear clothes that tell them that you're a industrial schizophrenic, right? You know, if your hair is the wrong length, if your skin is the wrong color, if you're the wrong kind of twinkle in it, then these are all things that can start a chain of predatory behavior. Humans are extremely sophisticated creatures, but they make for relentless predators of each other. So where is your father today? Mine is all around me. That's what makes any place sacred to me, is that my father is there. And you know, where the father is, the mother cannot be far away. But a lot of this world has taught us that where the mother is, the father is not. That the mother energy eliminates the father. There are many millions of people who think that the earth, in her capacity as a mother, doesn't need a man because it's a man's world. That is the most pure, anti-human thing I've ever heard in my life. It is pure psychopathy. It's pure schizophrenia. The idea that there's no such thing as in a baby is just gone, right? Because you're made of your mother and father, right? Right? A PP and of a JJ. Me, right? People are being perverted. Children are being perverted by their teachers. Where is your father? Right? I learned from a psychopathic witch. First you find the goddess and then you find the god. Where's the father? Oh, great mother. And then maybe the Lord might tag along. It's like, where you find the Lord, you find the lady. Where there is a true man, there is the recognition of the sacred feminine. And to be a man should not be to lose your father or to lose your mother. Because you lose both, don't you? You lose both. So I say, where is your father? Shit, it's cold. And my mom, in many different respects, her rapist older brother became a surrogate, right? And she never really gets angry about that. He's a stalker, he's a predator. He's been stalking her all along. Thankfully, since I've put him on notice, he hasn't been calling or writing to her much anymore. I'm sure I'm considered by my mother's family. I put his face on Facebook and saying this person raped my mother when she was a child, and probably a number of his other siblings, females. I left it on there for about 5 or 6 months, put off. And last Christmas, when his daughter called, or my mom's birthday, to wish her well, she's never called her before, and calls her to wish her happy birthday, or wrote her a letter. Yeah. Wonder where this generosity came from. Any sense, I decided after that to take it down. So I can't leave it up there, even though it's true. I just don't want to be part of these people. I didn't put it under my name, but I'm sure they can make no mistake who it is. And this man's a full-on sociopath, so you know he'll tell all kinds of stories about me. My family has generated a common myth that I'm a very ill human being, and it protects me as much as it insulates me from certain things and certain respect, even. I've seen a lot of the predator about humans, a lot, way more than a lot of people, and I'm aware of it way more than a lot of people, and I feel it a lot more than a lot of people, and I can talk about it a lot more than a lot of people. Phase, passing, is passing. The sun is the number 3. Passing, and pass is a bridge word about the sun. The Passover, the covering up of the sun, and the consumption of the sacrifice. Every time I get sexually assaulted, I'm cannibalized, I'm consumed, right? I'm sacrificed. It's just straight up cold today, straight up winter. Predators in every occupation, there is everywhere. There are workers, there are managers, there are police. Women don't work, but then they work with. There always has a cult capacity. Whenever there's a cult capacity, there are sexual going to behavior and schizophrenics who can lapse into it as a part of their job. You're paying them to do this, right? It's part of the tree of good and evil. They're the righteous ones who really are just as good as evil can be. I was subjected to different forms of torture growing up in homes where I lived with my family. As a young man, an older brother here, and another father, and they'll find a way to torture me, to run me down, and to bring me to mortal violence, mortification. This body parts. They're completely unapologetic. They're completely unaware. They're not conversant with any kind of proportional sense of contrition or sympathy, even interest in how that changed my life. And if you live with those types of injuries, you know how useless therapy is. Every person who calls himself a healer wants to get a piece out of you, right? Because you're just fresh meat to them. And they never want to listen to you, and they never want to learn from you. And they can relate all too well or not at all. You know? And they go into psychopathy. They become, I've gone to psychics, they become complete psychopaths within 3 seconds of meeting me. Okay? You know, I have a fucking life. Things actually go on. So white people, they called the RCMP, they gaslit me, and they set you up for prosecution, right? They call the police on me once, this. They've got, they've spread certain lies, they've stalked me, they're able to get away with different levels of stuff. I've caught them and reversed it, but what can you do? You tell them to fuck off, what are you gonna do? Call the police again? Right? Issue a summons. Right? So they're professional sexual predators. They work with children a lot. But just think about the arrogance of them. Right? Just study them. Right? The one man is still playing on still stalking me. It started with his wife. And they would just come too close to me, things like that. All predators. But it's a disease that's socialized. Predatory behavior is common among humans, especially in certain areas. So you have a lot of retired childcare, government, education, right, working in the area are retired, and they're sick people. They're fucking sick people. Right? Bus drivers, PSCP, all parasitical sexual predators. There's nothing good about them. And then you learn about their organizations. You learn how they work, especially when they're preying on you. They'll tell you exactly who they are. Because the predator's greatest weapon is telling you who they are and what they're capable of. And if you listen to the predator, then you're forewarned. They're capable of anything, right? The greatest predators in the middle class are the more well-established, economically viable people. They can get away with a lot, right? They misuse the power that they have upon their children, upon their students, upon their patients. You may not do them for anything. They're probably making very good use of them. There were these 3 young middle-class girls showing up at the welfare office once, and the entire point of them being out there was to let everyone know that they didn't need welfare. Because they were volunteering in the office that day. But why stand out there with everybody and speak in such a disgusting way? They're young sadists, right? They just eliminate people. Eliminate the people that are